Good morning. Good morning. Let me get this up. Perfect. All right. Let me get this out to the team. All right. Sweet. Move that. Sweet. All right. So we got a few people in here. How are we doing? Dale, good morning, man. Colin, good morning. First live trading session. Good to hear, man. Matthew, good morning, man. It's good to see you in here, Matthew. I know you're newer to the team, so it's good to see you consistently in here. It'll help you. Trust me, man. How are you, Colin? How are you doing? I don't think any TLM stuff today. Good to hear. Ryan, good morning. How are you? Dale, good morning. How are you? Let's look. Probably not. Be the worst thing. Gap ups are going to be a little tricky today. I hear you, Matthew. I did the same thing when I joined, Ben. Well, when I joined, there was only like one of these a week, but yeah, consistency is key, man. Philip, good morning, man. Philip's been here for a while. Philip still joins. That's what I love to see. Philip does not care how long he's been with the Freedom Team. He is in here almost every morning. See if we get any action off this. How high is SPY going to be? I think that's too much. Probably. Yeah, same thing on Qs. Apple's interesting here. I don't love just playing off a wick. Something like that could be a little cool to play. I just want to see. I don't know how much trust I put into that, but could be something cool. We'll see. Man, IWM has not stopped recently. Supply not really in the way. Did have a gap up yesterday that we hit. Right, broke yesterday's highs with the gap up today. It'd be a little bit of a longer play, but if we could retrace back into this area, like it's interesting. I'd bet a lot of money that John has that on his watch list. I don't know if he's in here yet. Let's see. Do I have my Slack up? John hasn't put his out. If that's not on John's watch list, I'll be very surprised. Good goes below demand. It's a little unfortunate. Love a demand from gap ups. I don't love Goog as much. Love supply in the way here. So we'll see if we move off of that. A little bit of a weird one. I don't know how to feel about that. It's a little strange. Amazon. Surely this was off demand. 2 hours, a little more than I wanted. I guess we could just do that. I just don't like how to break yesterday's high and retrace off that. It's very similar to Apple. Or no, what was the other one? IWM. Very similar to IWM. Microsoft was something I was looking at yesterday. I don't love this. I don't really like playing this. Didn't really gap up at all. Right off demand though. And we'll have another demand here. We can see if we get another reaction. Microsoft's a little bit of a weird one. NVIDIA, I guess maybe if we come down, but nothing else I love there. AVGO, I'll take a look at that. I think that's further down my list. Yeah, it's down there. Let's look at that. AMD never came back to this demand. We did. Okay, so we did hit demand here towards end of day. We gap up. Could look for a retrace off that. We might have actually hit. Yeah, we hit a little bit of demand there as well. So that could have been cool. Off demand, break of the high, retrace. You could have got in last night, but it would have been risky with CPI. So maybe we look for that move today and hope we can get some sort of that same movement. Would not mind that. That is going to be hard because of this. This makes it a little tricky. Also, there's no real demand there. So probably nothing on Meta unless we don't really have any demand here either, except for that gap up formed. Hood will have a similar thing to Microsoft. We didn't really, I mean, we barely tapped the wick here. So we could maybe think about playing that or see if we come back down to the actual candle of demand. This is similar to Apple. Could look for that. TSM is going to be way too high really for anything. TSM's been taken off recently. I know John hit the Oracle short yesterday, which ended up looking good. We did bounce from demand on Oracle yesterday, but maybe a break of structure here. Didn't get a retrace, unfortunately. So I don't know if there's anything there I'd really like. Plus, if we retrace now, we're in the supply again. MU, probably going to be too high. And we did bounce off. Let's say demand here that we bounced off. But we need a lot of retracement. Still could happen, but Coin might actually, yeah, Coin has a little bit of TLM potential. Gap up makes me a little nervous just because that's going to create some demand there. Looks like we also have demand here. It's not the cleanest demand. Equal lows though. This demand though has been hit twice now. Supply there, maybe. You could count that. Yeah, that'd be a tricky one. I do want to see what happens with coin though. It will be a tough day today. Hopefully we get a long set. Yeah, hopefully. John, do you have IWM on your watch list? I've been saying that's a U trade, and I'd be very surprised if you don't. So if you don't, I'm gonna look like an idiot. But I feel like you for sure have IWM on your watch list. So let's see how well I know my fellow coaches. Hims, I don't think anything. Hims in a weird spot, very choppy. I would say we could look for TLM, but that makes it very tricky. So that's going to be supply. And unfortunately, once we break this low, we're probably just going to hit demand anyways. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. So if I up to 1450. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Roblox. I guess maybe potential TLM short if we can break lows here. It's also kind of about how much do you like shorts after a good CPI report. I don't know. Throw it on the watch list. Keep people intrigued. Mara, if you wanted to consider, I wouldn't consider that demand. That'd be tricky. Tesla basically straight up yesterday. Looks like it's going to open above supply. Don't care about that. Philip said AVGO. I hope you're talking a long play. Because, yes, I like that if we can break highs. That's a very solid one. Very good eye. QQQ, I didn't see anything I liked on it. If you have something you saw, let me know. But for me, no real play there. I know someone was upset they missed a short on Uber yesterday. Don't remember who that was, but I know someone was. Looks like we bounced off demand. Could look for breaks at highs to go long. Looks like we bounced off demand down here as well yesterday. Don't think there was a play though. No, I wouldn't have traded anything off this. Let's look for more off this demand. Again, maybe break highs. You look long. Let's see, Visa. Haven't found really any opportunities on Visa recently. I think it's going to stay that way. Shop's going to be a supply. I guess we could see if we break supply or what we do there. And then BA, maybe we move down to demand, look for a bounce off that. That has potential. We'd have to hit demand though. All right, let's get this out to everyone. A lot of things on the watch list. I wouldn't say a lot of great opportunities. I would say pretty good. Ernie said no chat in Tanner's live feed. Chat's working. John doesn't have IWM on his watch list. Man, unfortunate. Pat, good morning, man. How are you? Mark, good morning. Good to see you. Adam, good to see you, man. Philip says, yep, perfect. Yeah, I like AVGO. Adam Wilson, good morning. New Dream Team member, I believe. It's good to see you, Adam. Little 01 morning. Is that Chris? Chris Little? I assume that's you. Arthur, good morning. How are you? It is. Morning, Chris. AKA Preston. What up, Preston? How are you, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Kat, good morning. How are you doing? 40 people in here already. If you haven't said good morning, how are you? Pop in chat. Say what's up. Cindy, good morning, man. There's the chat. There's Ernie. How are you, man? Morning, Dustin. Good to see you. John still has not told me if he's looked at IWM. I feel really good about this if we get the retrace. You honestly could probably see if we move down to demand and get another reaction. If you want to play it even safer. I doubt we go down that much. I doubt we retrace that much. We'd really only need to get to about 215. If my math's correct. Yeah. So Roblox, I think, is the only thing I'd be looking at shorts on, and I'm really not even super convinced about it. So again, if we break that low, maybe, but not super convinced. The thing with PLTR is I don't like it as much as other things. So maybe I'm going to switch that to secondary. IWM and Amazon, I feel pretty good about. Apple's a little bit of a weird one. Microsoft, we need to see move down more. AMD, very similar to IWM and Amazon, so I like that. Hood, same type of thing. MU, also same type of thing, and AVGO, exact same type of thing as well. I'm also very bullish on Hood for the long term, if anyone cares. I know, I don't know if Gabe's in here. Gabe, are you in here? I don't think I can check, like, can I check, like, who's watching? I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I don't know if Gabe's in here, but Gabe's been bullish on Hood for a long time. It worked out well for him. All right, so let's get all this drawn out. Yeah. Gabe's been talking about Hood for a long time. I wasn't super bullish when he started talking about it. Obviously, that was a mistake. But especially the stuff they've been putting out recently, all their updates and just like their future plans, can't help but feel bullish on it. All right, so IWM, let's see. Needed background, this 214.70 area. Amazon, we still need to break the high. AMD, we wouldn't need super low, right around there. Apple, same thing. Apple is much more risky in my opinion. I don't know if I would necessarily take this right off the rip. Hood, kind of the same thing. I don't know if I'd take this off the rip. MU went pretty deep into demand. AVGO as well. Set alert there, set alert there. Hood hits at 50. Set the alert on Apple. Set the alert there. Amazon breaks those highs. IWM coming down. Looks like a lot of things. So MU crossed. Nope, MU just went past, so MU's not crossing. AVGO's coming down. So that Apple hit. Maybe I just set it up too early. Apple did not hit it. AMD didn't either. I think I just set those up a little too early. AVGO's the only one. See AVGO's reaction here. If we get a good reaction, could look for something here. Maybe on the way back up. No supply I'd be super worried about. I feel comfortable even targeting highs to some extent. But I don't think this is going to hold. We'll see though. Hood, same thing. Hood, if we hold, just target up there. IWM crosses, interesting. Kind of expect a sell off here. Looks like we have a high here. IWM just taps that 50. Obviously, I did not have that set up already. Really good reaction off of it too. That's unfortunate. AMD here. Highs up here. Also a good reaction. Man, IWM took off. That'd been really good. Apple never hits. Hood with a good rejection. AVGO might move back. It's like US SoFi, yeah. Except Hood's doing much better than SoFi. So way to get Blue Guardian look as clear as this. We'll turn some things into clear. I think you can just get basic indicators on Blue Guardian, so you should be able to add the volume indicator on there. You can also just trade kind of the same way you do with like options, and just trade based on your trading view chart and just kind of execute the trades on there. It's another option as well. Stuff's continuing to move up. AMD's pushing down. Hood's pushing down. AVGO recovers. That's solid. Don't love that sell-off, but it's a good reaction off demand, so I like that. What would that put us at? About there. Really do like that reaction off demand for AVGO. We have about that. It's pretty good. Good with that solid reaction. Hood's another one. See if we can get that good reaction off demand here. And what a recovery for AVGO there after that sell-off. Put us about there. Spreads are a little wide. Those are a little wide. See if this bounces back down. It looks pretty good. Weeklies aren't for 16 days out. Man. Both really solid. If you took AVGO, you're happy. If you took Hood, you're happy. Could look for it on the second break as well. If you want to look for another retrace, this might end up being what you have to do here. IWM, I think, was for sure a good one. So Hood breaks highs, AVGO breaks highs. Which again, not the end of the world. You could definitely just look for that second retrace. Which wouldn't be super opposed to, especially on something like Hood. Wouldn't be super opposed to looking for something like this. Could even just get in like that break. Still 1.5. Or if you don't even want to consider that break necessarily break. Something like that is interesting. But you had a little more risk. We have like this. I don't see the chat right now, so if anyone's saying anything, I apologize. See where Hood goes here. What's AVGO doing? AVGO doesn't quite hit that retrace. This play on AVGO might actually be a little better. You need a little bit higher of a target, obviously. Maybe you look for that. You could even look up here. If that retrace does come in. AMD struggling a little bit. You don't love to see that. This AVGO risk is going to be obviously more now. Put you at about that, which leads you to, I don't know what that means for contracts. Don't know if this will retrace enough. That low isn't a bad thing. Apple just got an alert. Okay, so Apple crosses. Oh, well, Apple's retrace is actually, you can actually, it's actually all the way up here. You can't even really move that. Ooh, I don't love, I mean, that already got hit, technically. But I don't love that we got another reaction off of it. That's a little worrying. Hood's looking good. AMD's falling. So AMD's probably out of the question. It's going to be a new low, it looks like. AVGO might take off. Microsoft never came down. Assume Roblox taking off, yeah. Don't know about AVGO. I need to get this off of my screen. Should target an AVGO? I'm not in it. But if I was, it'd be this 249.36. Assuming we get a second retrace here. If we don't get the retrace, we just keep going. Probably just forget about it. And IWM looked really good. Stalling out a little bit here. Hood's still looking good. Risk seems fine on that. Amazon looks like it could make its way down. See if Apple bounces off demand here. See if we can push back up to this area. Would not mind that. Let me use this one. That put us at about there. I think that makes sense. We'll see if Apple gets back up there. It might come back down. Even if it does come back down, your retrace is about the same area anyways. Literally that same area. That doesn't really change much. Amazon's a weird one because that break's not great. Quite a large play as well. That's not supply. So that puts you at risk-wise 1.7. That's pretty good. Probably take all day though. See if Apple moves back up. Hood's kind of crashing down. Not the best there. See how long the sell-off lasts. Gotta hope not too long. Nice reaction up BA off 30 minutes. Had a BA1 there. Yeah, I just don't love that. I really don't. Relatively big sell-off. It's not great. What was... I don't even know if I did. That's changed a little bit. It's still... Still 2 here. See what recovers, what doesn't. IWM has hello. I don't like that structure from IWM. I don't like that it didn't make a new high, failed, or made a new low. I'd probably rather wait to see if we bounce off this demand now. Just not a huge fan of that. MU's probably closer to that retrace than anything. Another very, very wide trade. I don't even know. There's nothing really there. Are you going to target there if you want to get crazy? I think that would. It's not a bad target. Take quite a while though. Jumping on Hood. Yeah, I like it. Hood's the only one I'm actually in right now. The rest of them I'm not. IWM, again, if I was in it, target that 215.94. Just not in it. I'm not a huge fan of that structure. I still think it could be a good trade. Just not a huge fan of that. I have like a ton of orders open right now. I'm just kind of seeing what I get into first. AVGO takes off. Okay. So AVGO probably not something I'm going to get into because it looks like it's pretty far gone now. So let me cancel that order. This was Apple looking a little weaker. Amazon takes off. It's good. Very good reaction on Hood at that 50. I like that. That has John written all over it, so I'm not surprised he got into that. Apple, I'm not sure if Apple's going to recover here. Especially bouncing off the supply again. That's tough. Some of these they're just a little weird. IWM, the structure's weird. Apple has a supply. I think Amazon and Hood are probably the two best ones. Just if you're looking for the safest sort of trades here, I think those are it for sure. Amazon, of course, already taken off pretty well. Kind of sucks. I tried to get my order in on this candle, but it didn't quite hit that retrace enough, which sucks. Also took BA long. Interesting. And good reaction. I assume you got in on the retracer. Yeah, no, I'm not as confident in IWM and Apple. Philip called out AVGO. Now that's obviously going really good. Hopefully you got in that, Philip. I don't know if you're in here still. Hopefully you got in on that. And I did not. Probably could have just got in on the break. I was kind of waiting for a retrace. Probably could have got in at that break here. You already be at above 1-to-1. That'd be really good. You definitely did. Good, man. So I like to hear. It's kind of what I talked about on the live on Monday for the Freedom Team guys. Like, there's going to be a lot of setups every day, especially like today. I mean, there's obviously a ton so far. When there's on days like this, you got to pick the ones you like the most, right? And ride with those. You know, maybe they all work out. Maybe some work out, some don't. Maybe none of them work out. But you take the ones you're most confident in, and even if there's 3, 4, 5 opportunities, even if you get one, right? Even if there's 5 opportunities, you get one, that's still a successful day. Don't like that. Definitely don't like that. Especially considering Hood's the only thing really with that 2 minute. Not a huge fan. IWM moving up nice again. Good reaction off that 50 once again. You don't love to see a good reaction out 50, then come back down to the 50 and get a good reaction again. But again, something like hood as well, you don't love to see that. It's not perfect. You really want to see that retrace and then a good reaction that carries you higher. When you don't get that next high, makes you a little worried about it. We'll see where hood goes. At this point, we really want to see this high broken. Preferably without this low breaking, with this low holding. That's in a perfect world. Don't know if we get that. AVGO continued. Yeah, that's a banger of a trade, Philip. You nailed that one, man. Absolutely nailed that one. That should be one that you are. I'm curious on your entry there, but depending on where you entered, you should be very, very happy with that one. How are the rest of these doing? Goog bounced off supply a little bit. PLTR hits demand. Good reaction off demand there. I don't like we didn't get a break, but good reaction. Just about hit the retrace. That's solid. It's a pretty solid one there. There's no real. Maybe that's your break. 2-1 type trade. It's not bad at all. I think I'd rather wait for a break of the high before that, or wait for a new low and then a break of this high, though. I think I'd rather wait for that. Play it a little safer. Shop, I think that was supply. Shop actually continues to move up. See if Apple can recover. See what PLTR does as well. Could move on Goog for shorts if you're into that. Not a terribly huge fan of shorts, but let me cancel that. Would Jeez, dog is going crazy. you at about oof. Yeah, WM's cruising now. It's a good look for that. Wow, what a sell-off. What a 1 minute candle on PLTR there. Oof. Everything's pushing back down, it seems. The worry in a lot of these things, a lot of them haven't gotten a break to the upside in terms of today's movement. We haven't gotten a second break, which is not the best thing. I want to see some of that upside structure form. Oof. Oof. Amazon and Hood. Not great candles on this 2 minute for either. Hood's actually holding decently well. I'm so curious on this PLTR trade. Amazon might get another push down. See what we do at this low. See if this low holds. I don't think Apple's going to recover here. We'll see, but I don't think it will. It's looking pretty weak. If anyone's in a trade right now, let me know what you took. I'm curious what people are taking. Phil, did you take profits on AVGO yet? Or are you still in it? Curious if you're holding that. Hood and Amazon. I like them both, man. I like them both. I'm a fan. Hood, nice. BA long hit TP. Nice. Yeah, solid move there. Looks like you and John sniped that one. Get Who gets back up to that retracement area? It's good to see. PLTR back up to that retracement area. Solid 2 minute there on PLTR. Apple looks like it's going back down. Move on Hood. Amazon struggling a little bit. Move on PLTR. I'm out into 245 to profit 248. $3 movement. It's big. Gotta be happy with that. 245. Oh, so you took it pretty early. It's a good play, man. You love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. That would be... IWM looks like it's going to get that push to break highs. It's a good sign. one is just so intriguing. There's IWM back up to those highs. There goes PLTR. Good move. Has presented a pretty good setup. It's far gone now, but really nice reaction on a higher time frame demand zone. Below them broke structure upside, retrace took off. Yeah. Had the supply in the way would be the only thing I wouldn't have loved about it, but yeah, you could have had the break there, retrace there. Yeah. Would have been good. PLTR breaks those highs again. I say again, breaks that next high, so that's good. Ooh, not great move on Hood. Definitely don't want to see. I guess on the plus side of that low breaking, now you really just want to see any high break to feel good about it. Amazon looks like it might swing back up. IWM a little bit of a sell-off at highs. Just want to keep in mind. See if PLTR sells off at this high if it keeps going. Wouldn't mind a little stop on it here on Hood for reversal. Wouldn't be bad. Kevin, did you take HIMS or you just saw it? Seems one of those ones you just saw a little late. And something here on PLTR could be good. A little tight, but huge candle on Amazon. Man. Really tight breaks though. The market doesn't seem to be loving longs. Oh, the market, It's very similar to yesterday where it's very up and down. You don't really have clear structure to either side, which always makes me a little hesitant to enter a bunch of things. So I'm kind of, as many good opportunities as there are and have been, I'm a little bit tempted to just say stay in the hood trade and let the rest sort of play out. Can just manage the risk a little bit here. A little tempted with something like that. Goose kind of stalled out. Everything just seems very choppy all of a sudden. Morning, Scott. How are you, man? RGTI is moving nice after a pullback 12. RGTI. Yeah, that ripped. Not a large retrace though. It's a little unfortunate there. There goes PLTR. So you could have had, this thing moving. Again, would have been solid trade. It's not really a trade I like to take. I don't really like considering that a break to the upside. It's just not my preferred break there, personally. So that's why I was a little hesitant to enter something like this, but looks like it might end up working pretty well. Hood looked really good, and then all of a sudden just kind of fell off. Amazon still looks like it can be good. Amazon at this rate though is going to take all day. IWM really good as well. Just that reaction off the retracement was really solid. That's one that I'm a little upset I didn't catch. Just happened a little quicker than I had anticipated. The second move structurally didn't make a ton of sense to enter there. Seems like Hood is the only thing not getting that big push. Yeah, it did come back down. I didn't love the structure it was moving at. That was the only reason I didn't enter on that second move down. Yeah, PLTR ripped. I mean, listen, a lot of really good opportunities today. I don't know how many of these are going to actually fully work out, but from the looks of it, it looks like PLTR was good. We had drawn that out. Looks like Amazon's going to be good. IWM obviously looks like it's about to hit the target we would have had. I think the only true, if you want to say fail of a setup today, would have been Apple. But Apple makes sense because it had that supply, right? So that makes sense. That's one that if you're hesitant on anything, that would have been the one. AMD is not something we ever would have entered just because of the massive sell-off. So if you took like everything we'd have been talking about today, you would have had 3 solid trades. One maybe okay, and one probably also. If you took everything, would have been a really solid day. Later, John. Appreciate you, man. No, I do like getting at that 50. It's just when a lot of these things hit that 50, we're kind of getting a massive sell-off this morning. So I was more waiting to see if we would stop that sell-off. And unfortunately, some of them just happen to stop right at the 50%. So I just didn't get the entries on them. Also, it was like 4 setups within like 20 seconds. So it's just literally impossible for me to enter every single one of those with proper risk. You obviously could just, enter them and hope you get your risk right, but I'm not really about that. So IWM does look like it's going to hit, which would be good if anyone took that. Hood seems like it's struggling. It's a little bit unfortunate. Curious if PLTR finds its way back down. That'd be so unfortunate for the target on IWM. Man, don't think PLTR will find its way back down. I think it's going to keep going. Apple maybe recovers. We'd have to see. Get Hood. It's a good push. I think maybe we'll just stay with Hood. Again, other good opportunities, but I think best bet here, stay with Hood. Let that play out, and hey, 1 for 1's better than 0 for 0 on the day, so you can't be upset at a win if you get it. Yeah, PLTR would have been good. This is something I'll definitely take note of. It's one of those ones I'll put in my journal just at the bottom, just kind of note this sort of movement. So for the future, I know that something like that is working. Right? Even if you don't get a win on a trade, it's worth still logging it and keeping in mind for the future, in my opinion. Makes you confident in the retrace when price may drop all the way down to the rally point. Those orders and jump back. What makes me confident at the 50 is just that's part of the system, right? I know the system works. So just recently, I don't really do this a lot of times in the market, but in a time like now where, especially in the morning, like we've been getting a lot of mornings where stuff is up, and you would think, okay, maybe it pulls back a little bit and keeps pushing. But recently, we've been having a lot of days where stuff opens high and then just instantly sells off, like within 10 minutes back down to like the low of the previous day or something. So I've been a little more careful with certain entries, just because I've picked up on that pattern. And those are little things that, like, PLTR would have hit, by the way. Those are little things that I think over time, kind of knowing what market you're in is important. And sometimes you adjust to take more trades. When we were really moving down a lot, for the last, let's say, 2 or 3 months, like any chance there was to short something, I was probably taking it. Like if I saw a short opportunity off supply, even if it wasn't necessarily my A+ setup, I was taking those trades. Let's talk about 6 to 10 months ago. I was, taking almost every long opportunity I saw. But right now we're kind of in a weird market where some days are good, some days are bad, some days are just like yesterday was basically straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, all choppy all day. So it's a little bit of an awkward market to navigate. So I've tried to be a little more careful with how many trades I'm entering and when I'm taking trades and what setups I'm seeing that I want to take. And I think that's something as a trader you have to be able to adapt to those sorts of things. Now, does that always work out in my favor? No, right? Like today, there was good opportunities to take that I didn't. Right, so it doesn't always work out, but it's always better to be more safe than more risky when it comes to trading, just from experience. The times when I was more risky trading are the times where I don't have as good as months as when I play everything a little safer. So I much prefer to stick to that motto, especially in this market. It's just a weird market, man. There's a lot of news coming out. There's deals with other countries that are affecting stuff. There's CPI. There's a bunch of news, right? Like there's so much stuff going on. So if there's ever a time to play things safe, this is it, right? I do think, by the way, I do think PLTR is something, again, if we get a retrace to low of day, is something you could play long still. But it might also just continue its takeoff. But I do think this could still be a good opportunity, entering somewhere like this area and targeting some high. Do you think there still could be a potential trade there? I probably won't be at my computer watching it still, so it's not something I'll probably enter. But Apple might move up and recover. That could be interesting. What is... Let me see. I think what I'll do, I just want to know if it goes below there. Hood's moving well, and PLTR still pushing up a ton. Wow. Would be somewhere, it's like, get an alert there. See if that moves back down. Yeah, Apple's not something I'm a big fan of. Just a little weak today. I'm curious which one of these we hit first, if it's that retrace area or if we break through a new low. There's cool. Yeah. Later, Preston. Yeah. I'm just gonna stay in Hood for now. I don't think I'll enter anything else. But yeah, 10:30, so I'm gonna hop off. No places to be. So I appreciate you guys coming out. And for Freedom Team guys, I'll see you Friday. For the rest of you, I'll see you next Wednesday. So enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Trade safe. I'll talk to you soon.